First console is the Nintendo Entertainment System, or otherwise known as the NES. It's the most awesome, iconic, classic video game console of all time, and it's responsible for awesome video games that saved the video game franchise like Super Mario Bros. Anyways, if I was to choose all of the NES games that I had to pick, but like at least one of them, one game that I would play non-stop is obviously Mega Man 3. There isn't really much explanation why, because, I mean, if you watched my top 10 favorite Mega Man games, you guys pretty much know why I love Mega Man 3. It's best, it's nostalgic, I love the gameplay, it's just straight up 10 out of 10, perfect and awesome. So yeah, I would play Mega Man 3 non-stop. Arcade cabinets are literally the most rarest video games of all time. Like, they're so rare, like, in the old days, they were, like, just so cool, and, like, arcades nowadays, I hope you, like, have enough money to buy at least one, because, oh my god, arcade cabinets nowadays are expensive, and I mean really expensive. Even if you're looking for like at least one Street Fighter game on the arcade and you don't want to play like the home console one, oh my gosh, they're just too much money. Anyways, if I were to pick one arcade cabinet that has one game in it that I would play non-stop, there's this one game I'm really hoping to play eventually, and it's a Japanese exclusive game, Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon. Of all of the Sailor Moon games you've seen on Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, the arcade game Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon has to be like the most iconic and the most coolest video game of all time. Now, I don't know how to work arcade emulators, even though I have played a few arcade games before, but with emulators, it's kind of hard to do. Anyways, this game seems like a really awesome Sailor Moon game. It's basically like taking place in the events of like what happens in the show, and you're playing as the Sailor Scouts. It's basically a beat-em-up game like the Ninja Turtles games or Final Fight and Streets of Rage. So if you like those games, I definitely recommend this, especially if you're a Sailor Moon fan. The Super Nintendo was my first ever video game console that I've ever played. I remember my uncle has a Super Nintendo game, and he had a few games, and he allowed me and my cousins to play on it, and we had a blast with it. My first ever video game that I've ever got to play was Super Mario All-Stars plus Super Mario World. This was my first ever video game, and I love this game to death. Specifically this version because, of course, if you bought this one plus the Super Mario World version, you not only get access to play the original 4 Super Mario Bros. Games on the NES, you also get Super Mario World, and you don't even have to buy the games separate. Like, just wow, that is so amazing. So, as you also know, I've played this game on my channel. If you're interested, you can go check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below. The Sega Genesis does what Nintendo don't. Be successful in the old days, and basically have one of the best games ever of all time. So anyways, if I were to pick any game to be on the Sega Genesis, then I would definitely pick Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I've stated before that this game was my top #1 favorite way before Sonic Mania came out, and to this day I still play it. I mean, yeah, I did say I prefer the mobile versions, but hey, the original versions are still good to me as well. So regardless, I love Sonic 2, and I'll continue to play it anytime, any day. The Sega Game Gear is the only handheld console that Sega has ever made and ever owned. To be honest, not a lot of people like this console, and it doesn't really get much in the spotlight because most people prefer the Master System, its home console predecessor. But this console, I think it's alright. If I were to choose any game for this console, I definitely would play Sonic Triple Trouble. I've heard many things about this game and heard that it was a really good game. So I tried it before on an emulator via computer, and I've honestly enjoyed it. It's felt pretty fun, but man is it really difficult. Probably because me back in the day wasn't really good at Sonic back then. Oh, little old me, I needed some practice back then. The Sega CD has to be one of the most memorable consoles to have ever existed, and this is pretty much probably one of the most forgettable consoles. It's kind of a mixed bag between how many people feel about this console, and I'm kind of there with them because, to be honest, I don't really know if there's that much good Sega CD games, not counting all the games that are on the Sega Genesis already that's been ported to it, or basically remastered to be like its original predecessor, if you understand what I'm talking about. Anyways, if there's any game that I would play, I mean, I would definitely play Sonic CD. Oh, and heads up, because I'm a big Sonic fan, you're most likely going to see me pick Sonic games for Sega consoles, so be aware of that, and probably don't be too surprised. So yeah, Sonic CD, I said before, it's one of my favorite games. It's in my top 10 of favorite Sonic games. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The Nintendo Game Boy Advance is hands down one of the coolest consoles to have ever been created. I mean, come on, Nintendo has made one of the coolest handheld consoles ever. Who doesn't love the Game Boy? I mean, it may not have any higher, better quality as the NES, but who cares? I mean, everyone loves the Game Boy. It's nostalgia. Anyways, the game that I would play for this console is not Tetris, but Kirby's Dream Land. So, I've tried out Kirby's Dream Land, the first Kirby game to have ever been created. This isn't my favorite Kirby game, but I'd pretty much would definitely play this game, since it is pretty nostalgic and pretty fun. Okay, the Game Boy Color is technically the Game Boy, but this isn't just any enhanced console. It's an enhanced console with its own games, and that's pretty much already speaks for itself. The game that I would play for this console is Pokemon Yellow. I love Generation 1 Pokemon games, because Kanto, the Kanto region, and all of its Pokemon are all memorable to me. I know them all by heart, and the anime is also nostalgic for me, because Season 1 of the Pokemon anime is just hands down great. There's nothing much I need to say about Pokemon Yellow other than yellow is my favorite color. It's cool that they brought some anime elements into this game, and yeah. Alright, now we are at the Sega 32X. It's basically an add-on to the Sega Genesis, and this game console is not successful. The 32X add-on was just, it was terrible. I've seen the Angry Video Game Nerds review on this and people's opinions about the 32X, and they don't like it. Not even the games are even that good. I mean, if I was forced to play any game on this, though, the only game I would actually play is Knuckles Chaotix. Knuckles Chaotix, it's not a bad game, though it is a little teeny bit boring. I mean, but it's still a fun Sonic game regardless. I mean, Knuckles gets his own game with Mighty the Armadillo and introducing the Chaotix, so why not? The Nintendo 64 is Nintendo's first jump into 3D video games, and whoa, things just get better and better up to this day. It has many memorable games that fans love and memorize to this day. One game that I would definitely play on the most is Star Fox 64. Let me tell you guys something, I haven't played a Star Fox game in a long time, and I really need to do some catching up with the series since they've released new games like Starlink and such. Star Fox 64 is very memorable. This is the first and only Star Fox game that I've actually played, and it's very entertaining and enjoyable for me. The Sega Saturn was Sega's first attempt to try to jump into the 3D era, but this console failed so miserably to do that, and I could see why. The games, well, for the most part, the games aren't that bad, though some of them are, I mean, well, not much to say about that, but if there's any game that I would play that's not a 3D game, I would definitely play Mega Man X4. Mega Man X4 was released on both the Sega Saturn and PlayStation 1, and there's no differences with the version. It was released on both consoles, it has the same content and what you expect. And hey, I love Mega Man X4, my favorite X game in the X series. But wait, if I'm not going to play this on the PlayStation 1, then what game am I going to choose? Well, you're about to find out right now. The PlayStation 1 is one of Sony's best and greatest consoles to have ever been released. Sony was originally going to give this console to Nintendo, but because they turned it down, they ended up turning into a first-party company and selling their major popular titled games. And man, I really felt bad for Nintendo, but I feel very proud of Sony for doing so. Good for them. Anyways, since I chose Mega Man X4 on the Sega Saturn, the game that I'm choosing for the PlayStation 1 is, without a doubt, Final Fantasy VII. I mean, it's no contest. Final Fantasy VII is the best Final Fantasy game of all time, and it's getting more appreciated than all the other Final Fantasy games. It's been included in multiple spin-offs. It's got several spin-off games for itself, and even it's got like some extra story within a bunch of different content. And plus, this game has not one, but two remakes. Two freaking remakes! It's like Final Fantasy IV all over again. My goodness. First Final Fantasy IV gets two remakes, and now Final Fantasy VII? Wow, Square Enix, I cannot believe this. The Sega Dreamcast was like super popular back in the 90s, and to be honest, when Sonic games came on this, like Sonic Adventure 1 and etc., everyone was hyped for this because this was the true 3D Sega game that would compete with the Nintendo 64. Anyways, I'm sad that they don't sell these consoles nowadays anymore, and that way we won't play the old games, which is kind of sad. And no, I'm not planning on using any emulators. So anyways, if I were to play any game on this console, it would definitely be Sonic Adventure 2. Oh man, I love Sonic Adventure 2. This is like the most popular Sonic game of all time. My third favorite in the series. Please, please, Sega, I beg of you, re-release this console on Nintendo Switch, or at least remake it, because, oh my god, I really want to play this game so badly. The Nintendo GameCube had many things going for it. It was like really super popular when Nintendo released it in the early 2000s. And wow, just wow. I can't believe there are many people still to this day who plays the GameCube. One of my friends, Future Damon, has the GameCube with him. Though he doesn't have too much games, he actually has a Dolphin emulator to play the GameCube games on his computer, and that's pretty cool. So, if I were to choose any game that I would play on the GameCube, it would be the first one that I've ever played in my entire life, Super Smash Bros. Melee. I remember when going over to my friend's house, he had a GameCube, and he also had Smash Bros. Melee, which was my first Smash Bros. That I've ever played. I remember having so much fun with this. I wish I still had enough money to buy this thing and then buy Melee and then have a lot of fun with it. Because, oh my gosh, it's so fast-paced and so cool. Anyways, yeah, I would definitely play Melee on this console because it is the best Smash Bros. Aside from Smash Bros. Ultimate. And if you guys disagree with me, then 1v1 me. No items. Fox only. Final destination. The Game Boy Advance was like one of the most popular handheld consoles in the 2000s. Man, I wish I had me a Game Boy Advance or a Game Boy Advance SP, because this thing, it has the power to not just play its own games, but to play all these different ports of Super Nintendo games, which is super impressive. I mean, yeah, the screen is a bit crunched up, but who cares? At least you get to play Super Mario World or Yoshi's Island on that, John. Okay, I shouldn't say that because that's kind of corny. Alright, forgive me for that. Anyways, any game that I would play on this console, I would definitely play Final Fantasy 1 and Final Fantasy 2 Dawn of Souls version. This is like literally one of the cool games where you basically have two games in one, specifically Final Fantasy 1 and 2. Now, I don't play this game for Final Fantasy 2 at all, because if you watch my top 10 video, Final Fantasy 2 is my least favorite out of the classic 10, but it's still a good game overall, sort of, I guess. Final Fantasy 1, that's the only reason why I play this game, because, I mean, what can I say? Again, it's my third favorite game in the franchise, and even though the original Final Fantasy 1 was on the NES, it felt kinda lackluster and broken. The Game Boy Advance version is much better and more fixed and improved. That's why I would play this version. We now arrive at the second console for the PlayStation 2. Sony's really stepping up their game after releasing the PlayStation 1, and I gotta say, this console was pretty cool, even though I don't play it, and you guys, of course, remember it for the loud noise that it made when you start up the game. That has become a meme all over the internet. So the game that I would play for this console is Resident Evil 4. Yeah, Resident Evil 4, of course. Now I know what you're gonna be saying. Why Resident Evil 4? Well, To be honest, I've never really played a Resident Evil game, but I have looked up videos about it, games and stuff and such. And to be honest, the only Resident Evil games that I bother enjoying or just watching overall is basically any of the Resident Evil games that has Leon Kennedy as the main protagonist. Those were the only games that interest me. And the reason why I got it sort of into this franchise is because of my friend Azriel, specifically because he's a Resident Evil fan. He wanted to have one of his characters, Leon Kennedy, in my series, as you guys noticed. So, yeah. Resident Evil 4, I don't know, it looks pretty interesting to me. I feel like this is a game that I could sort of enjoy, because I've seen YouTubers like ShadowRock play this game, so why not play this game for myself? It looks pretty interesting. We now come to the first Xbox console in the early years, the Xbox, or the Xbox X. You know, they need to come up with a better name than just Xbox because, to be honest, I'm not trying to hate or anything. Like, shouldn't they call it, like, the Xbox Original? Because if you just say Xbox, people are going to get confused with the other Xbox consoles, which is kind of funny if you think about it. Anyways, the game that I would play for the Xbox is Sonic Heroes. Alright, so Sonic Heroes is one of the more popular games that was released on the Dreamcast, no, not Dreamcast, the Nintendo GameCube and the PS2, but of course I would play the Xbox version because, of course, I said I'd play the other games for those consoles. Sonic Heroes, and why not? I mean, what can I say? I've already discussed why I like this game in my top 10 favorite Sonic games. You can go check that out. The Nintendo Wii is my childhood video game console. It was the first one that I've ever owned. And oh my gosh, I remember all the fun memories I used to have with this console. It's just so precious to me. Now, in today's time, well, I don't really play much of the Wii because, well, I can't afford one nowadays, and I have my new consoles and such. But if I were to go back to playing this console, absolutely, because there are so many games that I would wish to try out. In fact, one game that I've actually wanted to try was Kirby's Return to Dreamland. I guess if I started to become a Kirby fan and I still had the Wii, this game would probably be my first taste of the Kirby series. I've seen commercials and advertisements for this game. I even watched YouTube videos on this and I was like, wow, this looks like fun. Because after playing Kirby's Adventure and other Kirby games on a computer emulator, I'm like, yo, I gotta try this game. Of course, since my homie Be Cold has this console, yo, Be Cold, listen up. Can you buy Kirby's Return to Dreamland? I so definitely want to play this game. The Nintendo DS is another childhood game that I loved oh so much alongside the Wii. This is my childhood memories. I remember when buying this little thing, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. I can take this console wherever I want and still play my games. Yay, I'm happy. Yeah, I loved doing that. And I remember I loved staying all night, hiding in my sheets just to play this. Of course, it's kind of weird, but hey, who cares? At least I still get to play my games on here. Of course, the image that you're looking at on this screen, I think this is supposed to be the original Nintendo DS, which for a second there, I never knew that the DS actually looked like this. Maybe the reason why I look different is because the one that my dad bought me was probably the Nintendo DS Lite. I think that's what it was. I guess I couldn't really tell much of a difference. Alright. Anyways, the games that I would play, I really want to go back to playing one of my childhood games. In fact, my first RPG game that I've ever played since I was a Mario fan. Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. When looking back at this game, it felt really special to me, really awesome. I remember watching some girl a little older than me. She was playing this game on her DS, and I was like, oh my gosh, I really want this game so badly. I want to play this game. So, of course, good things comes to those who wait. My dad bought the game for me, and, well, I kind of sucked at it. But eventually I got used to the gameplay and stuff, even though I kept on getting stuck and I didn't even know what to do. I ended up mastering through it all and got to the final boss, and I had me a swell time with it. And of course, I'm pretty glad that they made the remake on the 3DS. You know, if my 3DS wasn't broken, I would definitely buy the remake because, oh my gosh, I really want to live my childhood memories again. We now arrive to the PlayStation 3, the third console in the PlayStation family. Alright, let's just basically say that there's not really much games that I would enjoy on this console nowadays because, well, I'd mostly be playing the third-party console games or indie games, depending on what kind of games is on this console. Of course, since there's no more use of the PlayStation Network on this console specifically, it's sad that I won't be able to play some of the games that I could download on this, because the one game that I would play on the PS3 was Mega Man 10. Now I know what you're thinking, why Mega Man 10 on this console? Couldn't you play it on the Legacy Collection? Well, I did say I'm not including collections unless, and I mean unless, if, what the heck, unless if the collections are a complete remake or something, but only one collection is allowed on this list. Yeah, I should have said that at the beginning of the video so no one gets confused. Sorry, everyone. Alright, so why Mega Man 3 specifically? Because I remember going over to my cousins, and we went over to their neighbor's house. They had a PlayStation 3 with all these different games. They had Minecraft, Little Planet, such and such. And then there was this folder in the console that had these downloaded games. Castle Crushers, which was a game I played with one of their neighbors. I didn't really enjoy the game that much. But what caught my interest was that they had Mega Man 9 and Mega Man 10. Because back then I was a Mega Man fan during those days because I really wanted to play Mega Man 9 and 10. 9, I kind of sucked at it and it was hard. 10, well, because there was an easy mode, I played the game with Proto Man, but I never actually managed to beat it until I bought the Legacy Collection up to this date. So yeah, again, I already discussed why I love Mega Man 10, so there's no really that much information needed to be spreaded. The Xbox 360. Everyone loved the Xbox 360 back then. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the console that has this thing called the Red Ring of Death or something like that? Because if so, then why does consoles need to have stuff like that? That's kind of weird. I mean, other consoles don't really have things like that, so why the Xbox 360? Uh, well, whatever. Um, Anyways, the game that I would definitely play on this console is Sonic Generations. No information needed to be said about this game. Again, top 10 lists, you get the whole idea. But of course, this version in particular because, well, this was the version that I played on Future Damon's Xbox 360, and we had a swell time with it. By the way, Microsoft, Sega, if you're watching this, can you please bring back the service just at least for, I don't know, maybe a month or a day or something? Because if you could bring back your Xbox Live service on this, that would be cool. Because, to be honest, I don't think they're watching this. I want to beat Johnny's record in City Escape for Sonic Generations just to see how he and Clement would react. The PlayStation Portable, or otherwise known as the PSP for short, this is one of Sony's first ever handheld PlayStation consoles that they've ever released. Correct me if I'm wrong to all of you PlayStation fans, but like, isn't this like one of the more underrated consoles to have ever been released? Because I don't know. It's kind of a mixed bag of how everyone feels about this console, and I don't know what to say about the games, other than there are a few games that I would definitely like to play on this console. Of course, third party, because main game PlayStation games, I don't know. Wait, also, can this game play PlayStation 1 games? Because if so, I would definitely want to play this. But, of course, I gotta discuss what game I want to play on this console. It was hard for me to decide between these two games, Mega Man Powered Up and Mega Man Maverick Hunter X, because I would love to play the remakes of the Mega Man games. But of course, I took some thought into it and said, I want to play Mega Man Powered Up. Mega Man 1 was one of my first Mega Man games that I've ever beaten, and I've gotten used to the game with its music and its fun gameplay and stuff. So when I saw Mega Man Powered Up on YouTube, I was thrilled because it looked so good. Graphics were awesome, the soundtrack was just so cool. It was everything that fans really loved about the original Mega Man. So, not only that, you could also play as the Robot Masters, a few other characters. You could even play the game in its original NES style, which is pretty neat. So yeah, I would definitely want to play this game. The Nintendo 3DS. It's sad that this console died out in 2019. If it continued its legacy, it would have been very special, but good things have to come to an end eventually. It's the circle of life. Well, for gaming specifically. But hey, oh man, the 3DS had so many good games and so many memorable games. Oh my gosh, there were so many games to play. I don't really know which game I loved overall. So I took some thought into it, and if I could go back and play any game on this console all over again, I really want to get back into the Pokemon series. And by that, I would play the first Pokemon game that I've ever owned. Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. Well, specifically the X version. I remember picking this bad boy up at GameStop after my grandpa gave me money to buy me a game for the 3DS, and it was pretty good. It was my first taste of the Pokemon series. Of course, I wasn't good at it. I kept on deleting my, I don't know why. I kept on deleting my file just to be satisfied with a team that I think I could play with or something like that. I don't know why. I did beat the Pokemon League and yada yada yada, stuff like that. So I actually chose a team that I was satisfied with. And then, of course, after beating the Pokemon League, collecting all the legendaries, I actually completed the Kanto Dex minus Mew. The other decks, I also wanted to collect all the Mega Evolutions because Mega Evolutions was such a big thing in this game. Alright, I think I'm spending too much time talking about how cool Pokemon X is. I think we should move on. The PlayStation Vita, or the PS Vita, whichever one you want to call it. Anyways, this console, I don't know. What's honestly the difference between the PlayStation Portable and the PS Vita? I don't know. I can't really tell the difference with it other than its design and the games that it has. Like, can anybody tell me like what's going on with these two consoles? I know the PSP was popular, but this one, how is this one? Is it still popular or I don't know? I'm confused. I think I'm gonna have to ask Future Damon about this topic another day or something like that. So, anyways, the game that I would play on this console, there wasn't much consoles to play on this one, so I took some research into it, and I would definitely play Mortal Kombat 9 for the PS Vita. I never actually knew that this game had Mortal Kombat 9. I was surprised and shocked. So, so as for this game, it's basically when Midway or NetherRealm Studios, mainly because of how much the Mortal Kombat series was dying because of the amount of bad games that they were releasing, they rebooted the franchise to make fans remember what made Mortal Kombat so special, and everyone loved the series all over again. And this game was really, really fun. It's basically an upgraded 3D version of Mortal Kombat Trilogy, if you think about it. So yeah, I would definitely play this game. I really didn't want to go back to this console. Well, I'll admit, I was in love with this console back in its popularity, but nowadays, eh. The Wii U, I don't know. It wasn't as good as the Nintendo Wii. I mean, it had some good games. Okay, yes, I can hear you guys booing at this console. That's enough. That's enough. Settle down. I said settle down! Okay, sorry about that, everyone. Alright, anyways, I was in love with this console during its popularity, and I did ask my parents to buy this console for me, because, of course, why not? So, anyways, one of the games that I would play on this console, well, it's kind of a weird choice, but I would play Minecraft on it. Why Minecraft specifically? And I know what you're saying. Why Minecraft on this console? Well, because ever since Minecraft announced the Mario Pack for the Wii U, I was into this and I definitely downloaded this. Of course, I also had the Switch version, but I'm gonna be honest, I kinda missed the Wii U version because back then, it was a blast because I met a whole bunch of cool friends on the Wii U playing Minecraft, and this version had voice chat where you could chat with your friends and stuff, and it was an all swell time. I wish I could go back to those days and meet up with my friends because, oh my gosh, the memories we had with this. The PlayStation 4. Oh my god, this console, I'm telling you, this console is the most popular PlayStation console of all time. every time I like go over someone's house or see them have a video game console, it's mostly the PlayStation 4, and I can see why because it's so popular. All my friends, they have a PlayStation 4. Wow. So, I really wouldn't play this console mainly because, again, Nintendo fan, but if anyone gave me this console, I would definitely play on this, mainly for the third party stuff. Again, sorry, because what can I say? Anyways, so if I were to play any game on this console, there's actually one game I really, really am dying to play on this console, and it's this one game that's on PlayStation 4 and PC, and it never got released on any other console. Street Fighter V. Oh my god, I really, really wanted to play Street Fighter V. This is like the 5th Street Fighter installment that is still living to this day. People are still playing this game and it's still competitive to many people up to this day. And oh my gosh, I really, really want to play this game. It's so much fun. Please, somebody who owns a PS4, let me play this game on your console for once. Oh my gosh. The Xbox One, aka the rival to the PS4. The popularity between these two consoles was massive and just heart racing. So, the Xbox One was a really good console. I remember my friend has the Xbox One. He still plays it with all of his games. Anyways, if I were to play any games on the Xbox One, I would definitely play one of my favorite Dragon Ball Z games that has ever been created. Dragon Ball Fighters Z, or Dragon Ball Fighters, or however you call the game, I really don't care. Alright, so Dragon Ball Fighters Z, I really wanted to play this game, but I saw Xenoverse 2 and I was like, oh, you could create your own custom character? I want to play this game, and I enjoyed it. But when I played Fighter Z, the gameplay was just so good. I was addicted to it when I bought this on my Switch. It was just so much fun. So much fun. Anyways, yeah. So that's pretty much it. The PC, it's known for many things. Research, projects, software development, and most importantly, video games. PC gaming is like really popular up to this day because there are many people playing their games on computers, and there's so many good games that are on consoles that are coming to PC, and I never knew that this thing had the power to play like literally any game anyone ever wanted. Well, not every game, but you get the idea. Anyways, the game that I would be playing on this, well, you guys are going to be shocked when you see the reveal. It's going to be Doki Doki Literature Club. Yeah, this is kind of a weird choice, but I don't care. This is my choice. So, anyways, I would play this game because, again, this is not your average dating simulator. This is also a horror game with some dark stories and theories and mysteries behind it. Plus, there's some cool mods where you get to bond with the characters or just do all these random stuff. Of course, I also gotta play this game because I gotta be with my waifu Monica. I still love her to this day. Monica, best waifu, best girl. The PlayStation 5. Anyways, when this thing was announced, I was like, wow, another PlayStation console? Dang, Sony, I didn't think you make this console that fast. So, anyways, I guess this seems like a reasonable console to buy if you're a PlayStation fan, but good luck with that because, oh my gosh, as soon as the thing was announced,
they're all immediately sold out. Probably to this day, they're still sold out, and I'm like, wow, there are many fans who are just greedy for this one console. Just, oh my gosh. Though it's also kind of a mixed bag because I asked my friends what did they think about it. They said they don't like this console because of how it looks. Um, okay, I kind of see your point, but looks aren't everything. I mean, don't forget about the overall quality of inside the console. I mean, all that matters is what's inside, am I right? So if I were to play any game on this, I would definitely play the upcoming and recent Resident Evil 8 or Resident Evil Village, if you must say. Of course, I'd be a big scaredy cat and probably chicken out because, again, I don't really enjoy too much horror, but I gotta play this game out of curiosity or just watch it. So, yeah, I would totally play this game just out of curiosity, and it's totally, and I mean totally, not because of a certain character that was announced in this game that was taking the popularity of the franchise by storm. Yeah, so anyway, moving on.
The Xbox Series X. Really? Is this the name they actually came up with for their console? This is kind of a weird name choice if you ask me. So looking at this console by its design, I was like, oh my god, look at the size of that console. I guarantee you this thing is going to be heavy. I mean, look at it. It's like the size of a small mini locker or a safe. Anyways, the game that I would play for this console is Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. And about time because Crash Bandicoot is back, baby. I don't really play much Crash games, and wasn't really much into the series, but I started looking at some of the games, starting with Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy and some of the other Crash games. I know one of my friends, he has a Crash Bandicoot game. I played it with him, and we had a swell time with it. So anyways, I would play this game because, well, since this is like the most recent Crash Bandicoot game, why not? Because, I mean, hey, it could be fun for all we know. Well, of course, Crash Bandicoot fans already know how fun this game is. So, I also would play it because, well,
I'm starting to get into the Crash Bandicoot series. Well, like, not entirely, but it's a starter. Mobile phones. They're used for many things. Talking with your family, by calling them, of course, or texting them, chatting with them via camera on social media, of course, using a camera to take pictures and videos of yourself or any other thing in general, research, listening to music, watching videos, and most importantly, if you're bored, playing video games. There are honestly not that much good mobile games if you think about it because, well, surprisingly, I don't know. The games that people would like play nowadays, they're kind of getting a little lackluster if you think about it. Because, come on, have you seen the amount of Temple Run and Subway Surfer knockoffs that people keep on making? It's absurd. And when you port popular games on mobile phones, it's not really that successful because the phones can't really handle that much software into it. So anyways, the game that I would play on my phone, that is, if I still have enough space for it, Among Us. This game is surprisingly really popular, and I could see why. It's really cool with the fact that you're going around searching for the imposter and trying to survive, or be the imposter and kill all of the passengers on board. It's a really fun experience. I remember playing this with my friends in group, and we all had a really good time with it. It was an all swell time. Of course, that does beg one question though. Who is the imposter? It could be any of us around here. It could be anyone. Just anyone. Well, that was weird.
Thank God I am a Nintendo fan, because this console is my granddaddy of video games, the Nintendo Switch. Nintendo is a genius coming up with consoles like these. Come on, a console hybrid of both a home console and a handheld console. That is so creative. Oh my gosh. I love you, Nintendo. Thank you so much. I have so much fun with this console. I play it non-stop. It's just so freaking good. And the games are just, oh my gosh, again, so freaking good. So many cool varieties. Of course, if there's one game I would play non-stop that I'd be forced to play only one game console, then I would definitely play this one game overall over all the games that I own. And you guys pretty much know which game this would probably be.
Colors weave into a spiral of flame. Distant sparks go to a past still unnamed. Bear this torch against the cold of the night. Set your soul and reawaken the undying light.
That's right, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the Ultimate Smash Bros. The best Smash Bros. That has ever been released in history. What can I say that hasn't already been said about Smash Bros. That made it so popular? Come on! The soundtrack is so good, the graphics are amazing, the gameplay is just so enjoyable overall. Come on, they've done everything that has satisfied us. They put in a lot of cool characters that we've all been wanting or we haven't expected. They brought back all of the characters that have ever been in a Smash Bros. Game. And let me tell you something, that was one thing I was hoping for this game to do. Bring back every single character in a Smash Bros. Game into this one big, massive game. And I was so happy that they actually listened to me and done that. Or maybe not, but thank you so much. They also brought back the story mode and even brought in all of the classic modes that we all love, like home run contests and such. They even have stage builder, shared content, and the tourneys both offline and online. The variety is just so good. Overall, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is just the best, and without a doubt, a game that I totally play non-stop. So yeah, that's the game that I would play on the Nintendo Switch. Welp, this was a long video, but hey, it was all worth it just to get the information to you guys. Anyways, let me know in the comments down below, what game would you play on each and every console that has ever been created? And more importantly, what is your favorite video game console overall? And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everyone.